Okay, so we'll get on to the very first topic, which is introductions, mate. You mentioned before you were a admin with Daisy Underground.
Yes, sir. Acewhittles. I was added to DayZ Underground just a couple of weeks after it became a community, and
Yep.
I had been there as an admin about 6 years, almost seven. I don't remember if it was her sixth or seventh birthday this year, but it was very close to 6 or 7 years.
When did you finish up with them?
Um, Sometime last month, about a month ago.
Yep. Miss it?
Kind of, and like you've got this for almost a decade. I had this thing that was
Yeah.
a huge part of my day every single, and now that's gone. So there's a void there, and yeah, um, you miss it. I mean,
But there'd be
and,
parts of it
and
you don't miss, I'm guaranteeing. So what did you actually do in your role as an admin?
I've done every role there we have on the admin team there. So everything from checking applications from our old system where we would take it through Reddit, run mod mail, which
Yep.
was just the most horrible thing, the most horrible system to use. All the way up to our new application system where we've got an automated Google form and a spreadsheet that it populates. And
Weird. So you
uh,
were saying that you've done all the roles, doing whitelisting. What else?
yeah, so I've done all the roles there, from applications to taking reports from community members about issues in the community, like inter-player problems, like personal problems, dealing with script kiddies or investigating dupers. Also working with other DayZ communities. You know about the and trying to help them catch script kiddies, or taking information from them and using them to catch them. And so I've done it all. Everything except for modding, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. Those people do magic. I don't know how that works.
So yeah, I'm imagining most people coming in here know who I am. We've got about 14 viewers, and that's my usual sort of audience number. So if there's anyone who is new to me, yeah, I'm kid who videos and streams quite poorly, but loves DayZ and everything about, including all the bugs, and hate the game. So we'll get on to the first topic, mate. Did you see it yourself? Did you see Wobo's been done a couple of tweets so far this year?
Yeah, complaining about the new patch to reality that added coronavirus,
Yeah.
and says he's got plans in motion. So that's pretty interesting. That was a pretty big loss to the whole community when he.
Yeah. His last tweet before the one in January, where he just did this one word tweet, January 30th, was hi. And then, yeah, March 18th, and the comments underneath it were quite interesting. This new Corona patch sucks. Pasta and hand soap aren't spawning. The economy has tanked. Why exactly does my more experienced character have a higher chance of dying? Also, can someone please nerf toilet paper and buff intelligence? So it was quite funny. Nice little take on it. Yeah, some interesting comments down line where plans are in motion. Yeah,
It was a response to Spaggy.
yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Baggy's block.
Oh.
Yeah. Long story. Long story.
Yeah, yeah. No, you either love him or you him.
Yeah. But I think it's a fantastic thing, because there's been others who stepped up in the interim, and that's Brad Plays and Archie Stormcloud, who we'll be talking about next, doing stuff. But no one's ever really taken Wobo's spot. Brad Plays is probably the one who's come the closest. He's been doing a bit of science. Also, Uncooper's done a little bit, but nothing on the level that Wobo did. Wobo was
Yeah, he was the DayZ scientist, man.
But
I mean,
I always felt bad for him. Like, did you ever see his stuff he did for the Division?
No.
It was huge, mate. Go to his channel and you look at the numbers he had on his videos. His DayZ stuff was good, but the numbers he was getting, he was basically doing the same thing, applying science to the Division game, and he was getting some monster views. Now, I could just imagine what someone like him would do if he was doing stuff for Escape from Tarkov, for example.
Yeah. I mean, a guy that dedicated to figuring out how a game worked.
Yeah.
You would think one of these companies would hire him.
Yeah, you look at his DayZ 0.63 news system, 26,000 views, 60,000 views, 56,000 views. Then you go to his stuff for the Division, 471,000 views, 84,000 views, 181,000 views, 168,000 views. Like, his Division stuff was way more popular than nearly all of his DayZ. So he definitely got the potential there to make it. And one of the things, like, I supported him for a little while, but I stopped it as well when we just didn't hear from him and wasn't that. But there's actually still people who are supporting him, which I think is fantastic. Still got 27 patrons. Those who don't know, Wobo did leave the community due to personal drama. And a lot of people, the Running Man being the main one, raised a shit ton. How much did they actually raise?
It was a lot. Wasn't it like 50,000? Something
like
insane,
that.
some huge ass number. I mean, that's pretty incredible to have that kind of pull. Like for Running Man to have that kind of pull to support somebody.
Yeah.
Who is effectively a stranger. I mean.
Yeah.
Pretty great how this community can come together.
It is, and that was a highlight to see that, and something that not a lot of people know about. But the Running Man almost got screwed over by doing that. He had some massive fees get hit on him from PayPal, and I know Spaggy was one. Who donated a lot of money in the form of bits to the Running Man to help try and mitigate that cost that he was going to get hit with. But I believe PayPal ended up coming to the party after a bunch of people got on these Twitters and had a go at him about the fact that this was a charity fundraiser, and I believe they waived all the fees that they were going to charge him because it was going to be hundreds of dollars, I believe.
That's. I mean, Running Man does all right, but like nobody. I don't think any of us are prepared for several $100s worth of fees to hit our bank account.
Yeah, fuck no. That was one of the highlights of you think of probably the top 10 things related to DayZ, and the Wobo charity fundraiser was insane. Like, I remember watching it and just I did a donation in the Running Man stream, and then I did a donation to Wobo himself, and it took fucking like half an hour, 45 minutes for the donation to come up. Just the amount of people, the love that there was out there for Wobo was a good thing to see.
Yeah, it's always a great thing to see.
Yeah, it was fucking good. It was really, really good. We mentioned him, Archie Stormcloud. Do you know much about him?
I know a little bit, yeah.
Very funny guy, very controversial figure. He's definitely probably something him and I have got in common. He knows how to ruffle people's feathers. But his Chinese invasion video, did you get a chance to watch it?
No, I haven't. But I am aware that there are a lot of Chinese people at home right now that are
Yeah. He quite funny. He referred to them as high pings, and that was where the whole issue come from. It was a play on words, obviously, high ping, but also when they play on the servers, they're bringing the high ping with them. And in his video, you see him trying to melee these Chinese people, and just the game just not working. And his basic premise is region lock the game. which
Yeah, you'd think by now that these game companies would have learned to do that.
I understand that, but at the same time, that would have meant I would have never got a chance to have played on DayZ Underground.
True. That's very true.
And then
that's
a lot of people, Moonshine, for example, likes to play on the Aussie servers. There's a lot of people in the US who like to play on DayZ Down Under. So it's kind of, I understand the point, but for community servers, well, community servers can set their own ping.
Yeah. But you don't want to exclude, because you don't know if you're going to meet someone awesome from anywhere in the world. I mean, like you said, if DayZ Underground had set our ping real low, you and I never would have got to meet.
Yeah.
And that would have been an absolute shame.
Yep. How did we meet again? Where did we meet in the game?
I remember it exactly because it's your DayZ Interactions video, number 17. You were leaving, what's that, the town on the west, Zelenogorsk? The big town just south of Mishkino.
Yeah.
I believe it's Zelenogorsk. Yeah. You were running out the west side of that, and our team had, my group and another group were together patrolling. And you ran up through a field, and we came out of the trees and met you, and there was like 11 of us.
Yes, I remember that now. You guys scared the absolute fuck out of me. Yeah. I was just in awe. I was like, how fucking many of yous are there? Where are you all coming from? I think I was dressed like a fireman at the time as well.
Yeah, you had fireman pants on, or a fireman jacket on,
Yeah, I remember that.
And
now.
I
remember
that GP5 gas mask, I think.
Yep.
No, I watched that video, dude. I watch that thing all the time. I love hearing your reaction to coming inside. You come inside the tree line and you're like, Jesus Christ, there's more. Yeah.
That was good. That really was. I've got to update this to Doug Diaries. Look at the playlist.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that kind of comes back to the issue I've been having. I've really been struggling with DayZ because I'm just finding interactions hard to get. But that's kind of diverting a bit away from the topic. But yeah, the ping thing is, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. The chances of getting to play with people who you normally would never meet in life, as opposed to for the PvP servers, I can totally understand why they'd want to have a ping limit set at maybe 200. For your interaction focused servers, like I've still been, I jumped on DayZ Underground and had a pretty ordinary experience. I don't know if you saw my Balota Favela video. Got KOS twice pretty much. Same sort of issues I was having on DDU. But interaction focused servers, it's not as important. You could maybe push it to 300, possibly even 4, depending. Depends on how the ping surge limit works. Whether I don't understand that, you might understand that better. How does that work? Like if
absolutely do not. I have no idea how that works. All I know is sometimes communication breaks down.
Yep.
And that's tough when we, with the kind of community that DayZ Underground is, the interaction base.
Yeah.
It's tough when your ping is ruining your ability to speak to, because even though we're interaction encouraged or based, I mean, we want people to fight.
Yep.
And you're more likely to fight someone who's not talking. I would imagine.
No mic, no life.
Yeah, good old Hicks.
Yeah, but
his motto is, it applies to real life too.
But even in the Archie Stormcloud video, he does showcase in there just how hard it is to do effective PvP when you're going up against a high ping person. You see him with a shotgun blasting people, and they're just not going down, and then they're just warping around, and it's not hacks, it's just lag and high ping.
Yeah, and then it becomes extremely hard for a player who's never studied script kiddies and how their scripts make their character behave in the game.
Yep.
So when they see odd behavior, they immediately assume it's a cheater, and they might not come back to your server.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, we're in the server providing business. So
Yeah, exactly.
you don't want to be rude to. I mean, obviously, not everyone in China is a script kiddie, but you don't want to be rude to the people who aren't. But also, I mean, where's the limit? Like, where do you draw the line at?
Yeah, exactly. But that's a good segue into the next topic. Rumours of a certain server DDoSing other servers. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard that, but I've heard these kinds of rumors before.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to like 420 gaming or certain Russian communities that they would DDoS servers to drop them off the game servers list, so they would be number one.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to verify that that's exactly what was happening, but
I reached out to people, and I couldn't get anything concrete either. No one was prepared to give anything concrete. One person did say that they know that server got DDoSed at the same time their servers were being DDoSed. But yeah, the one was saying he was co-host of 420. Are you for real, DaOne? 420 Gaming?
Really, DaOne? Because I've heard all kinds of crazy stories about you guys.
Same. Like, DaOne, if you can get in Discord, man, I want to get you in here because I want to find out some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
maybe
I would like to.
All the mods. DaOne, get your ass in the Discord, mate. I want to hear some stuff about this.
Dude, years and years and years, I've watched other server admins and some of the devs who were in the server admin group trying to take you guys down.
Yeah.
I mean, personal reports handed directly from a community member who saw that your servers were and would personally hand it to Eugen Harton to go and take care of it with legal at Bohemia. So, like, yes, please come talk to us.
Yeah, I want to know. Like, I've heard rumors of how they got their hands on the game files and.
Yeah, I would love to know how that happened. That would be amazing, dude. I would like to pick this dude.
Your light's coming on, but we can't hear you. Ace, say something.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, there he is.
How's it going?
The infamous 420, mate.
Yeah. Yep, the cracked community. Hell's dilemma.
This is gold. This is gold because you guys were public enemy number one for DayZ back in the day.
Yep.
How? That's how did you get the file?
I've heard rumors.
It all started basically waiting for modding and nothing happened. And we got in contact with some people who just had access to the files, and they're like, "We want this price." We're like, "Sure, why not?" For the longest time ever, actually, no one was able to use the files, and the devs were very happy about it because you needed some tools. I guess you could call it the Hive to actually play the game like properly. But yeah, that took a while to get it all cracked, quote unquote, I say. But yeah.
So, was it an employee at Bohemia?
No, actually, it was no one from Bohemia. I don't know exactly the source of the leak, as like I was invited way after the thing was leaked. But it's from one of the hosting companies somewhere. One of them is probably not
really, because I heard some rumor about it got stolen off of a laptop at an expo or something.
That is. I think that is true, but that's a very, very old version. That's like before this new Infusion version of the game. You're talking about when Dean was in office. Yeah, I think that's what you.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's funny that he says that because when DayZ Underground was hosted through Multiplay, we had weird access to folders we shouldn't have had, but that came about because we needed kind of special attention from them to keep our servers running well.
Yep.
So they would give one of our guys access to something, and then he found that he could access almost everything.
Yeah.
Now, this was kind of late in the game, so we weren't the source of the leak, and he wouldn't have done that. But that's interesting. That I wonder if it was multiplayer.
Maybe it was. Wink, wink. Yeah. Do you guys ever remember the leak, or not leak? Sorry, the infection of modded quote unquote gear in the public servers? There was like M249s back in the
Yes.
patch 60.
Yep.
That was also because of that community.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, that worked by basically if you buy a server back then, you had the ability to hive multiple ones, and the hive actually let's just say a whitelisted IP that was also connected to the main public DayZ Hive servers. Like we had access to that, so pretty much if I spawn the gear on my custom server, it also saves it on other servers of every
Oh,
single one. So that's how it spread. It literally like a virus.
Wow.
That was fun, actually. That was the best part.
that's
You
incredible.
naughty boy, the one.
That's
Hey, I didn't do it. I mean,
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
that's just an incredible oversight for Bohemia. It's almost unbelievable that they would not realize that was going to happen.
Really, Ace? Really, you can honestly say that with a straight face.
That's why I said almost unbelievable.
This is DayZ, man.
It was actually very fun to do. We were like talking to the devs under different aliases, and they're asking about if there's any file leaks. At the same time, we're fucking trying to get more of these files, like the newer version.
How many of you were there in the 420 team?
3 people.
Yep.
I did all the modding, most of it for DayZ stuff, and another person did like external programming stuff, and the other person was just community managing.
Because I remember once watching a stream, and it was in the DayZ category, and seeing someone get onto an inflatable boat, and I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
what am I watching here? What is this?" And I watched it for a bit more. It was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, there's actually multiple versions of DayZ. There's really old ones where it's basically Arma 2.
Yep.
That's the version where Dean Hall was around, and that allows you to actually just easily port over stuff from Arma engine and just play with it, since pretty much it's the same engine.
Yeah, it was Take on Helicopters at the time, I think.
Yeah, so something.
Which was just Arma with all the other stuff stripped out of it, but like it's the same engine and the same code, so you could just inject it right back in. Like,
so what happened with 420? Why did you stop?
Actually, just got bored of the game. One of the owners, pretty much the owner who really funded it, they just wanted to, move on.
Yep.
And we were like, okay, whatever. Since also like modding support was released for everyone, they kind of got bored. They're like, it's too competitive. I didn't stop. Like I host deathmatch servers, and I do like other mods for the community. Like if you've seen that map mod, that's me and some other people work on that.
Yep.
What do you upload as on the Steam store?
Exactly my name in Discord.
Okay, so you're just the one in the workshop.
Yeah.
So now you're putting your powers to the good and not evil.
Did I put them in the evil? Yeah, I guess you're right. The community did have a pretty bad name, like dealing with.
Oh mate,
I don't know.
They fucking, you guys were infamous. Like you would see comments from people. Psy Syndicate used to play on your servers quite a bit, and he would have it in his videos. And you would see, the more respectable names just tearing into him when he's complaining about the game, and people can go, "Mate, you're playing on 420 servers. You can't call DayZ what you're playing with on that." You guys were, it was almost a badge of shame to have been associated with 420.
Yeah, that's true. I totally agree with that, and I can see why. I remember watching that side video you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the way he expressed his thoughts on the game at that time was pretty harsh. Actually,
Yeah.
the devs were actually trying really, really hard, and
Look,
they got the game to a pretty good standpoint. I think it's fucking awesome right now. I love it.
yeah, he's an interesting guy, Syndicate. Like, I know there's a lot of them out there who, I've been criticised in the past. I interviewed Silo. I would like to interview Syndicate one day because he's another person who is quite synonymous with DayZ. And I don't think shunning the people who criticise the game is the right way to go. I think you're better off embracing them and just trying to reason with them where you can. Some people you just can't reason with, Rhino and people like that. But yeah,
hey, I'm looking at your mods on the. You made the Banner Knights.
Yeah.
Wow, cool, dude. What? DZ Chaos mod.
Yeah.
Why is it telling me to go away?
That's actually Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Wait, he's got a mod in the workshop called DZ Chaos mod, and the description of it is "Go away, will you?"
You guys can hear me, right? I'm not lagging.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that mod was actually a recent idea, and it's where your Twitch chat as a streamer can control what happens to your character in game. It's an idea inspired from GTA. So GTA streamers who do speedruns, like try to finish the game as quick as possible, but with cheats, so the chat could literally slow you down or even kill you. That's the whole idea of it. Like try to survive that. I tested it with Archie Stormcloud. It went pretty good, but it goes better if your chat is way more busy. Or well, with DayZ it's a bit harder to do because of the cheats, quote unquote, in game. Like there's not so much things to do, like a GTA game,
What's DZM _ ESP?
That's a really old item. I need to remove. It's not compatible anymore, but it's just there. It's like an
the description of it. Are you kidding me? Simple and basic ESP to let you abuse the shit out of your players and get bad rep as an admin. Jokes. And slap that hoe in your.
You see, that's where the bad rep for 420 gaming comes from. People read that and go, "Oh."
No, it's actually good that with the new influx of players, because of the game's pretty much overall and change, not many people recognize the community I used to be in. I guess it's somewhat good. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, you're legendary to some of us, dude. Like,
you guys are. Like, I was never a fan of yours. I'm a purist and all the rest of it. I never touched 420. But you guys are, like I said it before, the Wobo fundraiser is one of those things that will always be remembered in DayZ. 420 gaming is another thing that the old school people remember when you guys first came out and all the rest of it. And you guys are synonymous with the history of this fucking annoying but amazingly addictive game called DayZ. 420 was a massive part of it.
Yeah, I think the main reason why it became such like a spotlight was it was only the only server that had that content stuff or modded. So like it was also on the Steam list. Like you could see the server without installing or downloading anything. It was all done server side, and it had appealing things to the player base, especially in that period of time because the game basically died for a year. No updates, no nothing. So I guess that's maybe the reason.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating, mate. You've made my night so far. Because I did not know fuck all about 420 other than that you somehow got your hands on a cracked version of the game, and then it was a constant source of embarrassment that you guys were doing stuff that the dev team was nowhere near.
Yeah, they always did try to stop the hosting through BattleEye. They would issue ban IPs. They would just take the server down and lock it for like 5 minutes. Then we would just buy another IP or even completely turn off BattleEye, their anti-cheat, so they have no control over it. That
Yep.
was fun stuff.
It's like I know the time I was watching it on stream, Hicks got that stream shut down in minutes once he became aware of it. Because he just
I miss Hicks.
so do I really do. At the same time, I can't deny that Eugen and now Sumrak and that have managed to take the game further. But Brian was just, an amazing person to communicate with.
I agree.
Even if you were the source of many nightmares for him.
Maybe a couple. Indirectly.
That's so trippy, man. That is so freaking trippy. Let me just.
I'm going through the server admins group, just looking at all the posts. 420 Gaming in the server list again. They're on Game Track. One that was a false positive, where it was a group that just had 420 in their name.
Yep.
Oh my god.
What did you think of what we were talking about before then? Because you've obviously got a lot of experience with servers as well, with the high ping problem.
Yeah, I think the worst part of it is simply like the devs aren't prepared to like within a click deploy something that has a solution in terms of servers.
Yep.
Actually, they reacted pretty quick. I think they did at least decent job with buying something in China or Asia. That's it. They bought what is it, like 10 or 12 servers? They tweeted about it recently.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. At least they provide slots for those players.
So didn't they actually have any servers in Asia beforehand?
No, never. I think they never had. Actually, maybe in
Wow.
older versions of the game they had Japanese servers. I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
not
I think
sure.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
But to think that they... Wow, that's a bit of an oversight when China's such a huge market. Although I do wonder how DayZ would fit in there, because they're quite restrictive. Like, I think in PUBG, they couldn't use flames for a Molotov. It had to be like a green gas effect, I think. And the blood had to be pink or purple or something like that.
I think what's happening here is actually this influx came from either a creator from China who's advertised or played the game, not advertised, played the game. I'm pretty sure Bohemia doesn't actually advertise their game anywhere in China because obviously because of the restrictions and the things they need to follow the guidelines. So it's basically a Chinese player on a VPN and they really want to play the game because it appeals to them. So I don't think it's actually the devs advertising it in Asia, specifically China.
Yep. Brimstone's just woken up by the look of it. He says he'll be on in about 20 minutes.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So hang around DaOne. We're not going to kick you out, mate, because you're a fascinating individual, mate. I'm certain you'll have some input on the next topic.
Oh, I'm sure anything 420 Gaming, dude, like...
You were a
pirate community.
You're very naughty boys.
No, you were a pirate community, but you were a community. You were part of our whole thing, dude.
Yeah.
You've got probably the most unique perspective on all of this, I think.
There's a lot of tweets getting around at the moment. Interactive. There we go. 2019, we released more content than any other year, and although hectic, it has paid off and put us in a strong position. Bolstered by this success, we plan to keep supporting our live games in 2020 and look forward to an exciting future powered by our new Infusion technology. And then they had an infographic showing their figures. So 68 million in sales in 2019, 4.5 million copies of all Bohemia interactive games and DLC sold. That's in total. Then they talk about the games individually: Vigor, DayZ, and Arma 3. they're talking it up, saying they had such a fucking awesome year, yet they stripped the DayZ team down. Now, I know that the people they're putting to work on Armour 4, that will benefit DayZ as well, because Armour 4 will not get released without helicopters, without motorbikes, without much better gun physics than DayZ has. Well, that's what I'm assuming. It sounds like...
Can we be so sure?
Then again...
then they released DayZ without all that stuff. And they released Armour 3 originally with extremely bare bones versions of all those things that you then had to buy later in DLC.
See, I have never really been an Armour head, so I'm making an assumption based on what I believe they would do, but the reality, it sounds, is very different.
I mean, I can go through the list of Armour 3 DLCs that I've got.
I know
where does it list them on Steam?
Whatever that was about. Armour 3 carts.
I have 11 Armour 3 DLCs. One where they revamped and added a couple more jets. Let's see, tanks, snipers. Well, the marksman update, the Malden map update, a map from Armed Assault 1. The Zeus update. I mean, a lot of this stuff are things that were already in the game that just got expanded on a little bit by the, or revamped by the DLC.
But you can see in the comments,
considering how they released DayZ, I don't know, man.
You see in the comments that people are questioning them. Wolfgeist, who's a prolific DayZ tweeter as well, very nice guy as well. I follow him. My personal, somewhat wishful thinking theory is they pulled people off of DayZ to create DayZ 2. Are they going to bother with a DayZ 2? Now, the Lonely Bandit, who I follow, one of the 420 gaming guys dropped it in us.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Ben home.
Yeah, trying to find Brad, the poor bugger. Where's the Lonely Bandits? I think it makes sense to do DayZ 2 as well. He says, my initial statement is based on my perception of the lack of commitment to DayZ. First place from BI. Almost at 8 years of development and 1 DLC so far versus 12 DLC for Armour 3. Feels like the higher-ups want to move on from DayZ ASAP. I know I replied basically saying, would they want to, though? Because DayZ is a cash cow for them. It does make them a lot of money, particularly now that they've released it on console. Don't know how well Armour would translate to console, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do Armour on console now that they've shown that DayZ can technically. I'm not going to say it's great because you speak to the people on console and they're pretty unhappy.
I am so worried that they're going to try to put Armour on console.
Mate, just brace yourself for it. What do you reckon, DaOne?
I think with the technology they're working on, they're really excited for Enforce or Infusion Engine, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And of course, like, console gaming is massive. Like, it's crazy. You can see the sales of DayZ, even though they call it a broken game, people still buy it on console. It makes more sales. So, of course, they have to tap into that console platform. So they're gonna work furthermore on that engine to make it playable on consoles.
Yeah.
So I think also virtual reality. Maybe they will do something with military simulators in virtual reality. I think Bohemia loves that shit. I forgot what it's called, but they have this sim game other than Arma.
Yeah,
it's not.
That's the other arm of Bohemia, isn't it?
Yeah, Bohemia Interactive Studio, I think.
Or is it Bohemia Simulations?
Bohemia Simulations, that's it.
Yeah.
So I think they will actually make more console games. I actually would hope to see Arma with cross-platform play. That would be insane, wouldn't it? Like Arma 4, PC and console.
Mate, it'd be good for me because at least then I'll still have the mouse keyboard advantage and I might actually be able to kill someone as opposed to being the potato at the bottom of the fucking pecking order.
You never know. They might add aim assist on the console player, so they just snap onto you.
That'd be the fucking my gaming career. Fuck this shit. But speaking of like other arms of Bohemia and that, have you guys heard the rumours that Bohemia is now linked with Tencent?
No.
Let me see if I can find something about this.
Oh, but yeah, they're it's on their website. They're Bohemia Interactive and Tencent are bringing Wildlands to China.
Yeah.
Not
I
necessarily.
don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
We're happy to announce a partnership with the world's largest game company, Tencent. During the UP Pass event in Beijing, Tencent announced that the adventure sandbox game Wildlands, which I don't know anything about, will be available to play on PC later this year in China. Just, yeah, Tencent kind of worry me a bit.
They're the company involved with the whole Blizzard thing, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
With the new Diablo game. And the that programmer guy who lost his champion.
Yes, yeah. PUBG as well. They're linked with PUBG.
Yeah.
Partly owns battle royale games such as Fortnite, PUBG, Battlestate games, and fully owned Ring of Elysium. Operator said, can you mod games on console? Armor mods are great. You can't mod per se like you can on PC, but they could download. You can get DLC for console games. So technically, yes, they'd be able to milk the console community for the same stuff that they're milking PC people for with DayZ.
Well, it's worse. They're trying to force you to pay for mods for consoles. Don't do it. Don't let them make you do it. Put your foot down. Vote with your wallet. You shouldn't have to pay for the work that we get for free on PC just because you play on the new Xbox.
Did you guys buy Livonia?
Yeah, I did.
Somebody bought it for me. I didn't want to pay for it.
So
I wasn't interested. It came in the DLC for Arma 3 first, and I wasn't interested in it.
Yep.
So
my young
I'd
fella
already
got
seen
it on
the whole
Arma 3,
thing.
and he said it was quite a good campaign and map.
Yeah, I heard the opposite from some people, but we know different people.
Operator saying he bought Arma 3 early access, and they made you buy the Carts DLC to get rid of the ads.
Yeah, that's how they do it. You buy the DLC,
what ads?
you get
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you buy a DLC for Arma and you pick up like a gun that's in that DLC, it'll put advertisement on your screen for the DLC, and you have to buy it to make it go away.
Oh my god!
It's like it's a thing that fades onto your screen, and then it goes away, and it comes back. It's kind of annoying.
Arma 3 user-made mods are great. I mean,
and yeah, the user-made mods are amazing.
Yeah, well, look at the DayZ community though. The fucking modders are insane. Like, any of you guys in the DayZ expansion mod, or just the DayZ modders Discord?
Yeah, I am. I'm pretty active there, I think.
Yeah, there's some amazing people out there. Like, I got to interview Arkensor. I'm still waiting on his bloody hype train.
Well, we are all doing that.
Yeah.
And Jake,
I might come back to
one, and
I might come back to play when the hype train comes around.
Yeah, the hype train was an absolutely amazing. The trailer for that
so not
was
fair.
Brilliant.
So not fair to show us that trailer and we still can't play with it.
But hey, it's DayZ, man. We've waited longer for more. Yeah, at least he didn't deliver it and then take it away from us like Broken Bones.
True.
Where is the hype?
Yeah, there it is.
This is it.
No, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
You know how bad my Aussie internet is right now, watching the spinning wheel. Come on, this is bad. This is embarrassing. Thank you, internet. This was a very well done trailer.
So not fair.
Yeah. Beautifully done trailer. He should be very, very proud of that. And I do look forward to it because it's going to be one of those things like I was mentioning while I was playing DayZ earlier. One of the things I've always felt DayZ lacks is stuff other than just searching the military locations. You know, back in the mod, which I didn't really like a handful of hours, barely even made it off the coast off memory. But you hear the people talk about choppers. Choppers don't really hold a lot of interest for me. I'm more of a vehicle or on foot kind of guy. But something like getting a train up and running, that interests me. And that's something else that's not just running around looting. That's something else that could become a focal point. And that's where I've always said DayZ lacks things that are, the uniqueness. Like in the past, they've done it well, whether by design or by accident. But you had things like Scalisty Island. If you wanted to get yourself a blazer or a Winchester and a hunting scope, you knew to go to Scalisty Island because the loot was just set up so that nearly always one of those, if not more than one, was spawned there. So there were certain things, certain locations on the map you knew to go to find things. Whereas now, loot's a bit more diverse, and unless you're on a good community server where they've managed to mod the spawns of locations, vanilla, it's just kind of helter-skelter, go to military to find military, and then just search. And other than the rings of the different tiers of loot and that, I've always felt they needed to give you more things to make you want to go to certain areas of the map.
I mean, it feels like they want you to just run northwest, die, respawn, run northwest, die.
Yeah.
Or on Livonia, run south, die, respawn.
And that's where I'm excited with some of the stuff that the modders are coming up with. Like, I'm not entirely certain of it, but I've seen people that there is mods now which have got single player missions or something like that, or AI missions. And you guys aware of any of that?
I have some AI, but it's very bad.
It's very bad.
Yeah. It just follows you around, but it's very basic. I'm still learning. But I've heard that expansion mod team has something cooking up with AI.
Yep.
Like an actual ones, like that shoot at you and stuff like that.
Ah.
But the missions AI you're talking about are like random events that happen on the world.
Yes, that's it. Sorry, random events.
Yeah, so you could go like save this animal from something, or this zombie, kill it to save someone, something like that, and you get a reward for it. That type of mission. I guess that's why it's called single player mission. Or is it survivor missions? That's the one. That's the mod.
Survivor missions.
Yeah.
There we go. Survivor missions. This mod is still work in progress. Do not activate this mod in DayZ Launcher. If you want to play on community servers only. Server missions on. Currently 574 missions randomly selected and more missions are planned. So have you tried it yourself?
No, I haven't, but I've had a look at the description and the videos.
think when I was looking at it there, no videos or anything.
I think there's a preview showcase video in the first thing in this screenshot showcase on the workshop page.
No idea what you mean.
See the scroll bar at the bottom of each screenshot on the Steam page. If you scroll to the very first thing, I think there's a video there.
Oh, it's 11 minutes. We'll check out a little bit of it. Error occurred.
Oh, it's the internet, man.
Yeah.
It's alright. Elon Musk will give us global Wi-Fi eventually.
Just putting it in chat so people can watch it later. Give it one more try. No. Only missions coming soon. Okay. So it's amazing that people are doing things like this, because they're making DayZ a bit more. And if you look at Dead Matter, for example, one of the things that a lot of people are interested in, which is ironically one of the things that makes me not so interested in, is the AI factions in it. I prefer to have genuine interactions with people as opposed to fake ones. Yeah, well, not really fake is probably the wrong word, but yeah. You know what I mean.
So I'm looking at the video for that survivor mission.
Yep.
It looks like you hear the mission over the radio, and it'll this one's showing a character. Dr. Legasov says, "Here's Legasov. Can anybody hear me?"
Okay.
And I guess you get the missions over the radio, and it tells you where to go.
Okay.
So this is a mission about a lost survivor.
Some of the server communities out there are very, very protective of their mods, aren't they?
Oh yes.
Like you guys dug with the cassettes. I think they're brilliant, by the way. That just totally appeals to me. Even the trading cards, like when I was playing on Doug, I had people saying, "What's that for?" And I went, "Not for everyone, but for me, I think it's cool." I would love the idea of having a folder with every trading card in the game, and the
they're adding trading card boxes or something, like the cassette tape box.
Yep. Yeah. See, things like that I think are brilliant because it adds more to. For me, DayZ now is not so much about PvP as it is about the interactions and the memories. Those interactions sometimes end up in PvP, but yeah. And as Operator said, modders helped finish the game.
They absolutely do. Ammo over at DayZ Underground, he's just started showing off a bookcase that holds 52 books, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
And as you fill it, we'll show each book take a slot.
That's good. That's really like I even like the modded shelf that when you attach things to it, it shows the gun on the shelf itself, and it's
pretty awesome.
You got anything in the pipeline, DaOne?
I've been working on some sort of survival mod, but very slowly because I'm busy with uni sometimes, and other times I just get lazy. I work for like an hour and then I'm like, oh, let's watch YouTube. What's on Twitch? I get distracted.
What are you studying at uni, mate?
Game dev. I've just started.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst timing ever for this semester. It's been cancelled completely. Everything's been changed to online studies, so yeah, that sucks because of this virus.
Where are you studying at?
In Sydney, UTS University.
Yep, yes. See, the unis up here in Queensland, mate, they haven't cancelled per se. They're just going to online stuff now.
Yeah, exactly. Same situation here.
Yeah, my young fella had to go and have a test done actually because he had some flu-like symptoms, and he was at University of Queensland, and they've had a little bit of a mini outbreak there, 3 or 4 cases.
Yeah, there's a few confirmed cases here as well at the university I go to. It's unfortunate, but it's bound to happen, I guess. It's crazy, the overreaction from this whole thing. I think
Look,
it's a bit of an overreaction, especially with the crazy TP toilet paper thing.
mate, people
It's
are.
so funny.
This sort of segues into the next point I wanted to talk about, and how this isn't just a DayZ purely only about the game sort of thing, but also about other aspects. But the world at the moment is just so fucking crazy. And yeah, I was having a chat with my young fella last night. He's probably about the same age as you, 19.
Yep.
And just saying to him that the virus is, yes, it's something to be wary of, but the big thing to be wary of is the economic impact it's having. And this impact is, I've never seen this. It's had a bigger impact on the world than 9/11 and the GFC. People are struggling in most people's lifetime to think of something this bad, and pretty fucking scary what's happening right now. There's a lot of people who just they don't know if they're going to be able to pay their rent next week, and that's where I worry about some of the content creators like Minder, Hoperec, Running Man, Lottie, 4 that I can think of off the top of my head that I know. Lottie, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure she's a streams too. But the other 3 I know are full-time streamers. They make their income from it. Now, ad revenue has gone through the floor, plummeted. And then when you've got people saying, like, you guys have been in my chat before, you know that I usually have this thing spamming up there about wounded heroes, and I'm raising money for it. I turned it off. I'm still going to donate from this month as well as last month. I'm waiting for last month's, but I'm not going to ask people anymore, because most people are worried about how they're going to pay their rent, how they're going to find food to. Can't go down the fucking shop now and get 2 boxes of pasta. No mince. Fucking, it's just it's retarded. It's insane. At the moment. So I'm encouraging people to, rather than donate to people like me or other content creators who you know have full-time jobs, to save it and give it to those who you like, who you know this is their sole form of income. Right or wrong, and you can argue that they're idiots for not diversifying and that, but who could have predicted this?
Yeah.
It's a wacky world, man.
Very. There we go. Just put it there. The new placeable item, the bookcase. I know RGD in particular will love that. He's got a thing about the book. Send him.
Yeah, go for it, man. Emma's pretty intense with the work he puts into some of these things.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't make the bookcase model. I believe he bought it, but
yep.
It's pretty incredible.
It is, and there's going back to the mods, man. There's some amazing stuff. Like one of the ones I loved, I jumped on a server, Stranded, and they've got a map mod where you can only view the in-game map if you have a map on you. I thought that was brilliant, because it just adds a level of, as much as I'm all for the ultimate survival experience, I also think that there's still room for some of those things which just make the game a bit more enjoyable. And rather than having to pull out a map which you can't interact with, place markers on, to identify things. You know, I like the idea of being able to go around and if I find a base, to be able to, you can't do it with the in-game map, the one you can hold in your hands, but like you saw before when I was on Pipsy, you can place a marker down and you can put a marker down as if it's something you've written on the map. To me, that's a perfectly acceptable thing. You don't need to go, no, not in the game, so you can't do it. No,
Right.
The game's got to have some enjoyment factor still to it. As much as I want this server that I'm trying to get off the ground, thank you very much, one.
You're welcome.
But it's still got to have some elements that make it enjoyable. And just going, what do they say? The line from Pineapple Express: "Never go full retard."
That's Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Sorry,
Never heard that one.
You've never heard that one, Tropic Thunder. You've never seen the movie?
No. I guess
Oh,
I'm
man.
Zoomer or Zoomer. I don't know.
You went full retard. You never go full retard.
Tropic Thunder. There's oh god. When I went to PAX a few years back, and this is one of those things that's very, very, you've got to be very careful how you word this on Twitch. But I saw the best cosplay I have ever seen, and it was an Asian guy playing Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Oh my god.
Yes, he had even done blackface.
I have to see this.
Yeah, I'll try and find the photo for you, mate. Hey, Hellfire, how you doing, buddy? But it was, I went up to him and I just said, mate, that is literally the best cosplay. You've just added a whole different element to the Robert Downey Jr. character in that you're an Asian cosplaying. And he goes, yeah, that's why I did it, man. I'm glad someone appreciates it.
And I mean, the joke is, it's a guy. I mean, it's a joke on the idea of doing blackface.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
We shouldn't have to examine a joke too closely to understand someone's just doing it good.
Yeah. World we live in, mate. The world we live in. You see the new Marvel superheroes?
No.
Oh god, mate. Let me see if I can find a still image. There we go. It's Safe Space and Snowflake. Meet Marvel's two new superheroes.
Safe Space and Snowflake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Daily Mail. Okay.
But yeah, that's the sort of stuff we're in for. They've got another one that's called Screen Time, which is basically a kid who was infected by his grandfather's internet gas, and his superpower is that he can instantly Google anything.
What?
And he's basically like a GPS. He knows Google Maps. Yeah.
That's I don't know how to feel about that.
I know you're taking the piss, Hellfire. Yeah, it's you just sit there and you scratch your head. Like, I know there's also been ones where they're talking about making Logan and Cyclops gay for each other, which I've got no real issue for, but it's just like, why?
Yeah, doing it just for the sake of doing it isn't a good reason to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Brimstone,
hey,
just jump in, mate, to Discord. No worries, operator.
I'm gonna run for a quick bio. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No, superheroes are triggering my superpower. My bullshit meter is going wild. I don't know why it's got the you've got your mic muted, Brimstone.
Are we able to stream the game on this channel?
Oh, are you playing at the moment, are you?
Yeah. That's disabled.
I don't know if we can on this channel, but that's something that after this I want to talk about how we can improve next week's one, because I'm pretty happy with the way things are going. It's just been good just chatting about stuff, and I'm certain once I upload some stuff and that, we'll get more questions for you next week, mate. because I'd love to have you back. About the origins of 420, and there'll probably be some comments calling you every name under the sun, but yeah.
Sure.
I'll be actually interested if Brian Hicks watches this and what he thinks of it.
Oh god. If you enable the stream game option on this channel, I can stream my DayZ game if you want. That's up to you though.
He's from 420 Gaming. Do you really trust him? I mean, who knows what he's got up on his screen right now?
No, it's really the
Shower with your dad simulator or something.
Hey, there's a
That's not something I needed to hear this early in the day.
How you doing, buddy?
All good. How are we, fellas?
Yeah, we're doing well, man. We're doing well.
Pretty good.
So we'll quickly touch back over so you can put your 2 bobs worth in on everything. Wobo?
Yeah, go for it.
See, Wobo's been tweeting again?
I did notice that, yeah. Something popped up on my Twitter the other day. I think someone I follow shared it or something, which I thought was quite interesting because I didn't expect to see any tweets coming from him anymore. No. So it was it definitely had me going, wonder why he's suddenly returned.
It does make me wonder if it's related to what we were talking about a while ago with what's happening in the economy at the moment. I've done a few tweets out there basically saying that, one, we need to be making sure that we're supporting those people who only those who you want to, those who you respect and you want to support. But there's going to be a lot of people who are losing hours or losing their jobs who may turn to Twitch / YouTube. And yeah. I'm wondering whether that's what's happened with Wobo, whether he's had his hours reduced or his workload or whatever, and he's got to look at ways to make money, like so many other people out there at the moment. Now, I'm expecting to see an influx of people streaming and creating content, which worries me because all the reports I'm hearing is that the money for advertisements and that is drying up.
Yeah, I mean, there's only ever going to be a finite amount of money to put towards, like you say, when it comes to hitting affiliacy and partnership. Yeah. There's only going to be so much money, and eventually the well's going to dry up. And with guys like Ninja and big guys like that making it such a popular thing to do with streaming and nowadays, and being a content creator, I think it's one of those things where it's kind of flooded the market now. I think it's not quite as bad with podcasting because I don't think that's quite hit its boom yet. But I think quite a lot of people do podcasts, and there are so many shit podcasts out there that it's flooding the market, but people are getting views. And again, like I say, there's going to be a finite amount of money that can go towards that. So I'd like to say, I think there has been an influx, and I think there's going to continue to be an influx of people who are wanting to try that out, or people like Wobo who, did it for a while and then, it may now be coming back. Like you say, with the current economic climate as it is around the world, it's a good chance that that's why he's come back. But I mean, personally, I think if he does come back, that's not necessarily a bad thing in any way anyway, because he did create some pretty good content over the years. So it'd be quite interesting to see what he can
and
what
no
he can pull out
one
nowadays.
has yet come up with that I'm aware of stuff the level that Wobo was doing it at.
No, there's, like you say, there's a lot of fantastic content creators out there, especially in the DayZ community now. But I agree, like Wobo did it to another level that I don't think anyone's been able to quite reach. A fair few people have come very close, but I don't think anyone's managed to quite hit that level yet.
I mentioned Rab Plays and Archie Stormcloud as two that are doing some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I haven't checked out Archie yet. Rav Plays, I've seen a few, and obviously you've got guys like RunningManZ, Toprek, guys like that. Obviously the big guys are sort of well known. I think they quite frequently put out some good ones. I mean, I think it was Toprek that just put out a video, I think yesterday. It's about a 20-minute.
Love DayZ.
Yeah, it was about a 20-minute long video, and at the beginning he introed it saying, the reason why people like me still play DayZ is because of you can't get an experience like it in any other game.
Yeah.
And he said, watch till the end to find out. So obviously I watched the whole video because I was going to anyway. And then at the end, it was a case where, you know, no other game would have done what the end of that video did. DayZ,
Yeah.
I think, is the only game that could have done that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those where a lot of people say, you know, oh, DayZ's a dead game, like, you know, it's crap, you know, no, there's no support for it or anything like that. But when you look into the numbers and you look at, say, like this just won a, was it this won a stream, some sort of streaming award or something for
Best with friends.
Was it Best with Friends? That's the fella, yeah. Things like that. And it's, you look at like the, whether you play in, you know, the through the normal DayZ servers or whether you're playing modded through the standalone launcher, you know, you look at the amount of numbers of people that are still playing, you know, it's crazy numbers.
I've got it up on the screen now. Peaking at 40,000 players in February. Slightly down so far this month, but still going in this month, obviously. Well, yeah,
I can only imagine that's going to get bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
With, like you say, with the whole economic situation, everyone's at home, no one's got anything to do, everyone's sitting at home with their finger up their arse. The first thing they're going to do is whack up a game, aren't they? So I can only imagine that's going to increase as we go.
The more free time you've got, the better it is, because it's not something you can jump on just for 15-20 minutes and play around like in PUBG. But yeah.
It's almost like training for what we've got going on in real life as well. We're all been prepared for it for years, thanks to Bohemia.
And then hopefully Namalsk will come. Actually, that's a question for all of you guys. My theory is that Bohemia are going to buy Namalsk off of Adam, which I have no issue with. I like the idea that Adam's going to get financially rewarded for all the work he's done with Namalsk.
Yeah, he definitely deserves a financial sort of, I don't know if kickback's necessarily the right word, but some sort of reward for all the hard, because he's done some amazing stuff over the years. So he's definitely deserving of it. My concern, however, and looking at it from a somewhat outside perspective as well, is that if you look at, whilst Bohemia have done a great job over the years, you know, and the community can be a bit, you know, up on them unnecessarily at times. When you look at the modding community and the sort of stuff that the modding community has brought out and done things that Bohemia themselves couldn't do, the idea of them buying Namalsk from him and turning it into something for them to do, even if they, like you say, if they, you know, reward him, you know, handsomely, so to speak, for it, then I just feel like it loses that little bit of star power, if you like, that little bit of, you know, at that point I would go, oh, do I really give a crap about Namalsk now? Because it's just Bohemia doing it. Whereas if Adam keeps it, I'll be a bit more like, do you know what? He's done some bloody good work, and you know, I'm really looking forward to this.
Knowing what I know about Adam, the guy making them, he's not going to sell it.
No.
But did you guys notice that he is now in charge of DayZ?
Yes, lead producer.
What he's going to do is he's going to lead the game in a direction to make Namalsk the best possible.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's something that I think is a very interesting topic to discuss, because it was, but I did it was the talk about the hardcore server video, the ultimate interaction focused one, and I had that excerpt of Brian Hicks talking in there about what Dean's original vision was and how DayZ Bohemia moved away from that because they had to balance playability versus Dean's initial vision. Now, I'm slightly hopeful that vanilla DayZ, is going to be made harder, because the fact that they've released the mod files now, they couldn't do this back then, because you couldn't mod the game, you couldn't even mod the server files, so it had to be a state that was playable for everyone. Now you can make it as hardcore or as softcore as you want. So I am tentatively hopeful that with Adam, who, if you watch him stream, and I highly recommend you do, if someone could find a link to his channel, that'd be great, and type it up there. But Sumrak also streams on Twitch, and one of the games he loves to play is a favourite of mine, The Long Dark. And oh my god, if he made DayZ even a tenth as hard as The Long Dark is to survive, oh my fuck. So I am technically hopeful, but I do worry that they may be loath to do it because you've only got to look at the server numbers. Trump's Wall, 1SK, Pipsy, and all these other AI high 5 million time 360 no scope squad wipe fucking servers are what the majority of people are playing.
So when DayZ Underground started our work on our hardcore mod, we spoke directly to Adam and others at Bohemia. And did you notice that there was a patch where suddenly you bled more, you took more damage, your hunger and thirst went down a little faster? Yeah, it's coming that way.
Yep.
Thank God I'm an admin for a server and I get God mode then.
Perfect.
No, my luck, I'll
you're
be dead within the first 30 seconds.
Were you
not
part
supposed
of
to tell people that we do that
and abuse your admin privileges?
Oh, I don't abuse them, but they're there to be used.
I don't know whether you're aware, because you've only joined now. That was a joke at DaOne. Do you know DaOne, who's in here with us? He's one of the admins from the 420 community, if you remember that.
Very sparsely, yeah.
They're infamous in DayZ history. So that was a little.
I think infamous is definitely the right word.
Well, it's like the DayZ community had two nemesis, right? We had that kid who thankfully has fucked, and we had 420 Gaming.
Don't remind me of that fuck.
Don't mention his name. Please don't mention his name.
I know, it's like Beetlejuice. He'll pop up in
worse.
here and threaten to send us all to the Shadow Realm.
If it gets said one more time, he gets summoned into the chat and will get DDoSed. Thank you, DaOne. You found it there, Namalsk Survivor.
Yep.
Yeah. He's definitely someone worth watching because he's so open. He's a return to the old school of, and you know, having interviewed Brian and Brian telling me just how stressful it was being involved in the DayZ project. I worry for Adam because he seems like such a genuinely nice guy.
He is
nice
an absolute
seeing someone
sweetheart.
Communicating.
I contacted him personally once because a tree was placed on the map and there's a circle of stones in the woods near the town of Mosquito, and they had put a tree right in the middle of them. And I asked him to remove it, and he did. Like little personal favors like that. He'll take them very serious.
Friends in high places, eh?
Yeah.
Not what you know, it's who you know.
Except, I don't want to encourage a bunch of people to start bombarding him with messages for things, but if it's a decent, reasonable idea, man, he's open to it.
He is a nice guy, a very nice guy.
I think that's got to be the way to do it as well, surely.
Yeah, you need that. We need somebody at Bohemia that's open to the community.
Yeah.
You can't talk to like the community managers on their forum without just getting a corporate response from them or a GIF.
The GIF.
Oh, don't go on my Twitter then, because my Twitter is full of GIFs.
That's fine. That's fine, but when you're answering people's questions with them and stuff, it's like, man, come on.
Anna's starting to
the
develop.
facts.
I'm starting to see some better stuff coming from Anna. So I'm hopeful that we'll get a return to the old Esmos and Batty days and Martin days.
Well, that's the thing. I think communication, especially when it comes to something like game development, is paramount. Essentially, you need to be able to communicate with your player base, and the player base needs to be able to communicate with you, and both be open to a conversation about things. I think that's one thing we have, not to knock Bohemia, so to speak, but that is something that we have lacked a little bit of in the last couple of years. Where it's just been a case of, right, well, here's an update, get on with it, rather than, here's what we're thinking, here's what we're doing, what do you guys think?
The loss of the status report was a big one for me, especially my favourite part of it. The part that hurt me the most was the community spotlight. Community spotlight, I think it was madness to get rid of because it helped keep that community fit.
They started doing them for Arma.
Did they?
Yeah, DayZ started doing them, and then they started doing them for Arma.
Are they
for
still
Arma.
doing them for Arma?
Yeah.
See, they've got to bring that back, because that was pretty much like, I know the tech heads are like DaOne. He probably enjoyed reading the more technical aspects of it, whereas I generally jumped straight down to the community spotlight to see who the focus was on. Was it someone I knew? Was it someone new I could check out? What screenshots? And I got to find so many amazing people through that community spotlight. I loved it. Who was running events and.
I can't imagine the amount of people who have discovered some phenomenal content creators through that community spotlight. I mean, there was a couple of times where I had already discovered people and were watching their content, and then like the week after I discovered them, suddenly they pop up on the spotlight. Yeah. And as a viewer, it's so cool to go, oh look, now this person I've been watching for a week, who I now follow, you know, who's putting out this great content, is now getting the recognition they deserve. And it's cool from a viewer's standpoint to see a company doing that, to having that sense of community. And like you say, now that's gone. It is kind of sad to see that that's no longer a thing.
Very, very sad. Hopefully, we'll see some changes in some of the stuff. Yeah, we're starting to see it. Adam's in charge now. Adam's, even during the dark days when we weren't hearing from hardly anyone, you tagged Adam, you generally get a response from him.
Yeah, he definitely seems like one of the most approachable guys that you could hope to have in for a game and a community like this.
Plus, I love his vision of where he could potentially take. And he's, as Ace said, he has hinted strongly at wants to wait until the game is ready for Namalsk, instead of just releasing Namalsk when the game's not ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it, where I think there's going to be so many people that have followed it for so many years, they're just going to immediately say, well, upon hearing that statement, are going to immediately say, well, the game's never going to be ready, it's not finished, shouldn't have been pushed to 1.0 and all that stuff. But, I think it's then that those are the same people that are spending hundreds, if not thousands of hours playing the game in the first place.
Operator's just said in chat he'd like to start a stream. Do it, mate. Seriously, do it. I'll push you out there. But it is, like you said, need more grumpy old gamers. There's so many young fellas out there doing it. We do need more old people. You've got Gamer Dad, Quincy, myself. Who
Kerbo.
else? Kerbo. Oh, mate, Kerbo.
My dude, Kerbo.
Fucking love Kerbo. I know he's off DayZ at the moment. He said he'll come back in a tweet with me the other day when they bring back the bow and arrow. But I put him. He's basically the American equivalent of Vigilante Gamer to me. He's
just an excellent man.
He just had this way of, if you've never watched a Kerbo video on DayZ, please do yourself a favor, go back and check his channel. I'm bringing up a link to it now, and I'll put it in chat for you guys as well. But Kerbo just had this amazing, his voice, mate. If I was going to go gay, I would go gay for him. He's an ugly guy. I've seen his picture, but his voice, mate. Oh my fucking god! When he talks over the mic, you could feel your balls rumbling.
I suppose beauty is in the eye of the beer holder at the end of the day.
I'm just trying to find.
He's playing a lot of farming sim.
Yeah, a lot of farming sim, and he's got some mist stuff there. He puts out a shit ton of content. I won't lie and say I have watched it all, but because I love his DayZ stuff. Here we go, DayZ the gift. Where's the short one? His voice. Wait till you hear this. Bet you I picked a video where he doesn't fucking talk in it. Okay, he's not fucking talking in that one. Let's.
Howdy folks, and welcome back to Medicine Creek Farm. It's day 4 midsummer, and we're going to sell some beans today. Prices are what looks like an all-time high. But first of all, yeah, I'm cultivating up the alfalfa field. I don't think alfalfa was really worth it. I'm going to plant some beans. And I think I've got just enough time, hopefully, unless the winter comes early.
I just love his narration style. I used to I was always so happy when I saw a Kerbo video had come out for DayZ, because he just had such a great style. And he's also one of those, he doesn't just play for the PvP. Plays for the stories, for the interaction that DayZ can give you, which really does appeal to me.
Yeah, I love a good story-driven game. Anything where you can get some sort of role play going or anything like that. Some of the absolute best content over the years, especially for DayZ as well, has been guys that have done, sort of not necessarily played on a role play server, but implemented role play into their into their YouTube video and had a good laugh about it.
You look back to the golden age of DayZ, and you've got Frankie, you've got Psy Syndicate, even Syndicate, his encounter with Mr. Moon, and it's all generally.
Oh, that's going back a few.
Yeah, but it's all generally interaction based stuff. Now, you don't really remember the videos of PvP moments that well, but nearly all of us can remember our favourite Mr. Moon video, our favourite Frankie video, our favourite Mr. Blackout videos. Mr. Blackout had such a brilliant style for the way he, even though you knew they weren't the same character, but his diaries, day 1, day 2, he made it feel like this adventure, even though you knew he probably died half a dozen times. But he just had this great way of, he had this great way of putting a story together and packaging it. And he's another one. He had an amazing voice for narration.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's a little bit lost in the DayZ community at the moment. I think that's one thing I think we all need now. I mean, if you look at guys like TheRunningManZ, absolutely phenomenal content creator, got a great voice. Hardly anyone's ever seen his face unless you checked his Twitter yesterday. Yeah. But it's one of those things where he's one of those. He's got such a recognizable voice. I think that is one thing that's kind of missing from DayZ content creation at the moment, is someone having that it factor in their voice, so to speak, that makes you not give two craps about the content or the content of the video, but just want to watch, just to listen to him and the way he narrates things and the way he tells the story, with the video being secondary for you to watch and add a little extra something to it.
Two that are good ones is Baby Nades, and another one, sadly he's not doing as many videos anymore, but is also our boy Super FT LOL. He's how I discovered the Running Man and Barely Infected. Was I initially found Super FT LOL popped up in my feed, and he does some amazing storyline videos as well.
Yeah, I think the first content creator for DayZ I ever encountered was a guy called Potato. He used to run with KD Wolf and I can't remember the other guy's name now. That's going to bug me for ages.
Patriot.
Yeah, Jam Jar, Loyal Patriot, that's the fella. Yeah, and you had guys like you said, like Jam Jar and stuff. Who I think Jam Jar's back now. I think he took a little while off. I've noticed he's sort of started
a lot of Red Dead at the moment.
Yeah, but like those were guys who back in the day, like long before DayZ hit 1.0, that was the content I think the majority of us likely watched, and they had some stuff that was pretty decent back then.
Did you guys watch my spotlight on Sammy?
Good job on the JOK one, by the way.
You liked the J that I made the heat I copped for fucking doing one on him. Oh my!
No, you daddied right up on him, dude. Fucking good for you, man.
But
someone needed to.
There were people who just hated me for doing it, the same as there were people who hated me for doing Silo back in the day as well. But I've always said,
well, no, he deserved a chance to say his side.
Yeah.
And you didn't pull any punches on him, man. That was good.
But I didn't need to pile on him. Enough people are.
Well, no, yeah. You didn't pile on him at all. You, yeah.
But there's a video. I'm trying to find the channel. Cyborg Lizard did a video, and he talks about There we go. Originality on YouTube. Have you guys seen it?
For watching it again, it's so good. It actually explains the situation right now with how stale the content is
Yeah.
for DayZ.
Yeah. There's really almost everything you could think of has been done. And sadly, the big thing as well is the work that goes into, you look at Fubar Bundy. He's probably an outlier in that he's still creating some really original stuff. But it takes him a long fucking time to finally, unless he's going to script it like Frankie supposedly did, it takes a long fucking time to find a memorable interaction worthy of uploading into a 20-30 minute video, plus the amount of work he puts in editing. He's not just a lazy fuck like me who just rips it and fucking uploads it with a flash intro and outro, a stupid voiceover. He actually does genuine editing work. So, it's and the views. You look at the views for DayZ videos. The views are either in the science stuff or in the PvP squad wipe stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
mean, it's a
the game's
PvP game now, and
Yeah,
nobody knows
and I
how
mean-
it works. So
No, I mean that's the thing as well. We're getting so many new players in that obviously it's going to take. There's going to be a learning curve for everyone when they first start, just the same as if you start anything that you've never done before. And I think it's the problem is the game's been out for what 6-7 years at this point,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where there's only no matter how much Bohemia put into the game, no matter how much new guns they add that were actually old guns that they took out and had to now put them back in. No matter what they do, it's still the same basic game. So, and that's not a bad thing. That's not me knocking Bohemia in any way. But you look at it and you think, considering how old the game is, there's only going to be so much content that can be. There's only going to be so many ideas. Going back to that whole idea with the with the advertisement and the money drying up, there's going to get to a point where there's a finite amount of of creativity that can be born from one singular game. So you're going to get to a point where, I think like we are now, where the creativity just isn't there because it's already been done. The amount of people that have already made YouTube videos on DayZ, I think the exception, I'm sort of not blowing my own trumpet here, but blowing Hellfire Show, good friend of mine there. He had a video a few years back on DayZ where he it was somewhat unique, but based on sort of the same thing that a lot of people were doing, and that's the PvP side of holding someone up. And what he did is he did a video called Gorka's Got Talent, and he held someone up in Gorka PD, handcuffed them, and made them sing. And he was in there just dancing along, doing the little friendly dance sort of thing. And it was daft. It was daft as hell in the funny, and it was so funny. But no one ever does that sort of daft, funny stuff anymore because it's already been done. So it's a bit of a weird one. Everyone's gone to the well, and now I think it might be starting to dry up.
I'm subbed to Hellfire. I was a bit worried then for a second because I love Hellfire as well. I know I haven't watched a lot of his latest stuff because it's Rainbow Six, but yeah.
Don't watch his Rainbow Six stuff. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm the one playing with him in those Rainbow Six games. You don't want to watch his Rainbow. Don't watch my Rainbow videos either. They're fucking awful. We are terrible at that game. We really are. We're terrible, but we enjoy it. So it's
There are still some good ones, but it's just it's like the golden age is gone, and now it's getting harder and harder, and a lot of people are scared to upload stuff because it might be like what Jam Jar or what Mr. Blackout or Mr. Moon and people like that have done, but it can still be done, but it needs the true creative geniuses like your Fubar Bundys and stuff like that who can give the video the love that it deserves to set it apart from the rest of the cannon fodder stuff that gets uploaded by the idiots like myself.
Yeah, I think the issue with guys like Fubar Bundy and stuff as well, though, is that they've, like you say, they've put out some phenomenal content, and it takes so much time and effort on their part to put that out, and it's a real passion project for them. And then you get to the point where no one watches it, no one bothers with, no one likes it, doesn't get as many views as it deserves. And I can only imagine that if you're someone like Fubar Bundy or Mr. Moon or whoever that puts out these absolute phenomenal labor of love videos,
Yep.
to have no one watch them, to have, not no one of course, but to have so fewer people watch them, it's got to get to that point where you're like, you got to fall out of love with it. And I can only imagine it's so frustrating when you're making those phenomenal videos and then someone just comes in and does a 2-minute squad wipe video that gets 3 million views.
Well, I'm looking at Bundy's figures now, and his numbers for his last 6 videos have actually been quite good. I don't know how Encounters is tracking. Doesn't seem to have done so well in the algorithm. The 30 Survivors versus Bear one wasn't that great compared to Encounters, was fucking hilarious. But yeah, he's definitely improved, and he's grown. Like, I think I found him at around about 10 to 20,000, and he's slowly getting up there. He's getting close to 100k mark. But I know he's been quite busy with IRL stuff as well. So I know he streamed just the other day, and yeah.
He's another one that I think deserves more than they get. I think he's another one that deserves a lot more subs and a lot more recognition than he actually gets.
Look, if he starts streaming more on Twitch, I think there's going to be a few Aussie DayZ streamers who are going to be very worried, because like 2 of the main ones we've got here at the moment are almost copies of his style of gameplay. That's Ben Fruit and Lax Hawthorne. They both play that crazy psycho sort of persona that Bundy kind of invented for Aussies. Didn't invent overall, but he made it quite popular down under with that. I don't think Diddy has anything to worry about, because Diddy's a more serious streamer. And me, I appeal to an older viewer in general, but yeah. And this is another guy I've got up on the screen at the moment, is one that it's sad that he doesn't make videos anymore, and that's Vigilante Gamer.
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of Vigilantes videos over the years.
He's done some absolute ball terrors, like how to apply Sun Tzu's The Art of War to DayZ. He's and it's a serious video, man. It's fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. His tactical breakdowns. He got permission to do one of the Running Man. This may be a video that people remember. What do you think?
Oh, there's definitely some great tactical narration there, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
that's but that's always been the one thing that sort of gets me with the Running Man specifically. Like, as you can tell from that video there, he's clearly got the skills, he's clearly got the strats, he's clearly got the brain in his head to make those plays. And every now and then when he uploads his, he'll upload a video where he'll say, oh, this is what I did. I pushed into this town, and I did this and I did that, and this was the outcome. But he doesn't do that often enough, in my opinion. I think he should do more videos where he does more tactical stuff, and he says, like, this is my thought process, because he is one of the best ones out there, especially when it comes to the way he plays.
I've said it before about him, and it caused a bit of controversy at the time when I interviewed Mr. Moon, and I described the Running Man as the everyman. Almost everyone can attain his level if they were to devote themselves to the game as much as he does. He's not like a Shroud or a Toprek who've got this, even a Smoke, who've got this natural FPS skills where you look at Shroud, mate, he could turn on fucking any game and he's going to be great. Not just good, he's going to be great at it. Because he's got this God-given talent of being able to fucking shoot. Whereas the Running Man, he has applied dedication and so much fucking work to his craft that some of his videos, like I remember one where he took out a squad of 4, not far from where that video was set, around VMC there, because he just outplayed them. He's a smart fucking player. He's one of the smartest players, and that's his stuff that I love the best, as well as the funny stuff. But I love it when he shows up a squad of who are just the PvPers who are just out to kill all and sundry, and he destroys them through superior tactics and skill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you say, I think in the current sort of climate we're in real life at the moment, his funny videos are what we need to have that escapism from everyday crap. But at the same time, like you say, his tactical gameplay, the stuff he's done over the years, doing like the squad wipes because he's outplaying people, it's some of the most phenomenal footage you'll ever hope to see. He does something that's just completely incredible.
He's amazing. I just had someone ask why I don't do videos like that with my background. I've done one, and it's one of my more successful videos, Why Things Are Seen. And I actually really enjoyed doing it because it just... I was surprised at how well stuff I learnt in the army still applied in a video game like DayZ. And yeah, it was one of my favourite videos to have done. But anyway, guys, I think it's 2 a.m. now for me, so I need to call it quits. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this. DaOne, I think you have to be a regular, mate, because I think once I upload this one, we're going to get a lot of comments, which I'm hoping will be something we can talk about in future podcasts, because I want to do this weekly, every Saturday night at midnight, Australia time. But yeah, I think we're definitely going to get probably some questions, and also prepare yourself for some hate, mate.
That's fine. More questions about modding, that would be cool as well.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of communities that would be interested in talking.
There is, and there will be. There will be. Brim, you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself, mate. For the 16 people who are watching, mate, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, I go by Brimstone Live. My real name's Ian. Call me whichever you prefer. I'm not fussed. Basically, I discovered DayZ a few years back when Twitch wasn't as big as it was. Started watching guys like Potato, KD Wolf, Mr. Moon, as we've said. Fell in love with the content. I'm good friends in real life with the Hellfire Show, and he was sort of struggling for games to play, and I said, give DayZ a go. And then he's sort of stuck with it ever since. And now I've got my own PC. I play it a bit myself. Moved on to helping out some friends, admin an RP server, and just sort of enjoying living life and hoping for the best, really.
I just had someone say, why don't I do more tactical sort of things? There was a channel, maybe they've deleted it now, TLA Live, that did do some good tactical ones. But another one is a mate of mine, Vanguard, has a channel. I know he's re-uploaded some of the stuff from the old TLA days, but he has some very good tactics stuff as well. But yeah, I know there are other ones out there who've done tactics sort of stuff, but maybe that's something. Again, I don't have the video editing skills. Like I know I've wanted to do one on target indications, because even I struggle with target indications in DayZ. But there's some simple guides to using a clock and all the rest of it and how it works, and that I've always thought of doing. But yeah, okay. Guys, if you could send me links to any of your social media, that sort of stuff, in the Discord chat, when I rip this and upload it as a video on that. I'm going to rip small segments of it as well that were more interesting, and I will make sure there are links to all of your social media streams, YouTubes and all the rest of that sort of stuff. DaOne, I'll put a link to your workshop as well.
Cool, man.
So everyone can download that ESP hack so they can abuse it.
Sure.
I'm on it. I'm there already.
Guys, thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice chat. And I definitely think there's... it was sad when Renee and FT stopped doing their Ultracast. I used to watch that all the time. Then Cooper, I thought he was going to carry the flag. But the Compass podcast eventually died off as well. I'm hoping we can keep this one going, even if it's only for a handful of people. But hopefully it'll grow and we can do something bigger with it down the line.
It's always nice to
Absolutely.
get together and be grumpy with people.
And Brimstone, please arrange for Ben from Bebop to get some fucking bread next time.
Yeah, I haven't spoke to him in a while. I might have to message him later and just start throwing some bread rolls at him or something.
They sent him a recipe on how to fucking cook bread, for fuck's sakes. He could have baked a fucking loaf in the time it's taken him to find one.
He's got one of them big old popular servers he's got to run though, hasn't he? So, you know.
The old blue waffle. Yeah, fucking monster. But... Have you ever
Had some
Googled
good old
blue
days
waffle?
on there. Yeah, and I regret doing so.
Yeah, if you haven't...
And somehow it showed back up on my Reddit again the other day, and yeah,
Don't
it's
ever
enough to
Google
turn
the
a
word
straight
blue
man the
waffle.
other way, isn't it?
Make sure you always put Blue Waffle Attack Force. Never Google Blue Waffle.
Yeah,
I
public
always
service
said to him,
announcement.
man, you need to change that name. That's not a very advertiser-friendly name. Oh, Christ. I just got hosted by R. Diddy. R. Diddy, thank you so much, mate. But we've actually just finished. We've just finished the podcast for the night.